So I bought a guitar, and was it the right thing to do? Because it wasn't cheap, but I bought it anyway. So, little backstory, right? If you kind of see behind me, there's a lot of stuff. There's even more stuff there. It's one of the perks of being a YouTuber. You know, you get lots of gear, lots of pedals. There's heaps of guitars here, actually, that aren't even... not mine, that are just on loan. Like, most of the guitars you see here aren't mine, they're on loan, but they're all here, taking up lots of room. So what I've decided to do this year is get rid of a lot of stuff. So I sold a whole bunch of pedals, not so much the pedals that people send us, but stuff that I've owned before people send us stuff. I always feel bad, you know, you make relationships with all these people. And I feel bad selling that stuff. So I've been selling a lot of stuff that I've had for ages, since before I had a channel. Same with the guitars. I've sold a whole bunch of guitars, but they were all guitars I've had pre-YouTube channel, right? Now, I sold 4 guitars at my local music shop, Music at Noosa. And actually, check out the YouTube channel up here. They're great people, great place, right? If you're in Southeast Queensland, you want some killer sort of secondhand gear. And this is not sponsored by them. They're just friends of mine, right? If you want some sort of killer secondhand kind of vintage gear, they have a lot of that sort of stuff. So check out, I'll put the link to the website below as well. Anyway, I sold 4 of my guitars through the music shop. And I had a whole bunch of money sitting sort of in the kitty there, right? So I sold guitars and it kind of all goes into their system, and then they can either give me money or I can buy something with it. And I sort of thought, I'm selling a whole bunch of stuff, just leave it in there until it sort of accumulates, and then let's go shopping. So I had a fair bit of money sitting there, and then I decided maybe I should buy something. And now Rob, the guy who owns it, and Jeff, a very good old friend of mine, Jeff there, they sort of said, oh, why don't you try out some Gibsons, right? They have a few Gibsons in second-hand Gibsons. Why don't you try them out? They're great investments. Even if you don't particularly like playing them, just buy it, hang on to it for a while, look after it. Often they're good investments, right? You can sell them at pretty much the same price you bought them for, yada, 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 yada. So I just kind of blindly looked at them all, picked them up, played them, without really knowing which one's which. And the one I liked, of course, ended up being the most expensive one of all of them. It's just the one I kind of connected with the most, which was this guitar. Now, this is a 2007 Gibson R8. So custom shop R8. Hang on, let's go up a bit so it's maybe easier to see. So what is a custom shop R8? So I think now they're called historic. But basically, it's guitars that are made in the custom shop that are as close to the original as possible. So this is an R8, which is I don't think they do that anymore, but it used to be, I think they used to have an R7, R8, R9, and an R0. So R8 is a 1958 copy with a more plain top, so you don't have the flame on it. R9 would be a 59 with a slimmer neck and flame in it as well. The R7, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not a big Gibson guy. I think that was still the gold top. I think that was the first year of bursts, 58. But anyway, it's a gold top. And then you've got the R0, which is the 1960, which is an even slimmer neck profile and is slightly different. And pickups and whatnot different. Anyway, this has got a massive 58 neck, which I connected with. Also, the color I quite liked. It's sort of that faded. It's kind of red, but kind of faded. It's not that iced tea, whatever they call it, or tea. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a Gibson guy. Never really played or owned Gibsons. Actually, one of the guitars I sold was an old Gibson Melody Maker from the 60s, but which is really one of the reasons I had that much money to buy this. But I like the color. I like the kind of slightly faded looking hardware and kind of, you know, covered. I don't like the uncovered pickups. I never liked that. It's seen a bit of wear. The Les Paul thing is almost worn off. I don't know how much of that is from the factory and how much of that is because it's 2007, so it's, you know, coming up to 20 years old. But yeah, I kind of connected with this one, but it was the most expensive one, and I kind of went, should I? I've never spent that much money on a guitar. But then I decided, why not? Let's do it. So I bought this because I thought, it could be a good investment, blah, 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 blah. Now, since then, I went through days when I went, you know what? I really dig this guitar. And then I went through days where I go, what have I done? Why have I spent that much money on this? Maybe I should just sell it. But now I'm going through a phase again. So I've had it for about a month now, give or take. It took a lot of tweaking to set it up to the action I like, to the way I like. There's one dead fret, which I have to have looked at. It doesn't look like the fret's high next to it. I think it's maybe a bit low. It could be what, you know, everyone talks about, Gibson craftsmanship, state-of-the-art craftsmanship. Because I mean, I used to work at the Set Music Shop, right? Music at Noosa. This is a lot of talking, but hey, it's my video. Timestamps if you want to skip ahead to some playing. But I used to work in Set Music Shop, and we used to get Gibsons in for customers, and the quality control was really bad. I mean, maybe it's better now with, you know, Margaret Nisi standing there and going, "Oh, gotta get it right," and weird looking with weird eyes. But although I can talk with my googly eyes. But anyway, it's interesting, and I had sort of a love-hate relationship with it. But currently, I'm really, really liking it. Let's go up a little bit more. So I just thought I'll do a quick sort of playthrough, and if there's anything. Focus. If there's anything you guys want to see or interested in with this, let me know, and I'll see if I can, you know, do some more videos with it, or I should do some more videos with it. I've used it in a couple of demo videos already as well, which will be out after this, I guess, or may have been out before this, I don't know. But it's acoustically, it rings beautifully. I mean, it does sound good. But it took me forever to get the action right to where I like it. I use heavier strings, so these are 11 to 49s on here as well. Took me a while to get the action right, where all the notes work, because it took a lot of tweaking with the neck, and it took a lot of work. I mean, way more work than any guitars of any of the competitors, you know, any Fenders or any Yamahas or Pure Salem or any other guitar I've ever owned, including even Squiers. It took way more work to set it up and get it right. But now it's right. And it's great. I gotta say, I never got the why Gibson are so popular. I never got it. They're ridiculously expensive guitars. I get it a little bit now, because they do have a certain sound that I don't think any other guitar of mine sounds like. And there will be a video, and I linked to the video of the other guitar up here. I have a Greco Les Paul copy, which I really, really like. The neck is fantastic. It's a beautiful guitar, but I'm going to do a comparison. And that video will be out at some stage. And if there's any questions you have about that comparison, let me know. And Alex just bought a Les Paul for his 40th birthday. He went to Japan and bought a Les Paul as well. So we're going to do a three-way shootout, I think, between those three. So the two actual Les Paul standards, this custom shop Les Paul R8, and my Greco, my 78, I think it is, 79, 78, something like that, Greco Les Paul copy. But anyway, let's just get some sounds, right? So setup-wise, I'm just going from the guitar via my Peterson Strobostorm tuner, which is always on my desk, into the Mozztronics Amp Switcher, which has the absolutely awesome Angle Retro Tube 100, which is a discontinued amp, but the best discontinued amp of all times, in my opinion. There's a video for the amp up here. It's an excellent amp. From there it goes back to the amp switcher, and then it's got the 2 notes Torpedo Live selected with some Celestion IRs. These Celestion IRs, and if you're interested in buying any Celestion Digital, Celestion Plus IRs, you don't have to buy the ones that I'm using, but if you want to buy any Celestion IRs, there's a link, an affiliate link in the description below, and if you buy any IRs via that link, we get a kickback. You're not paying any extra. If there's sales on, they still all work. Everything all works. But we're getting a kickback. And thank you very much, Lee, for doing it. And quite a few people have done it in the past. So thank you very much for that. Now, and then from the Torpedo, just go straight into Logic. So it's cabinet emulation, right? So this is the clean sound on the bridge pickup of this Les Paul. And it's got the renowned Gibson tuning stability as well. Now, it's a slightly overdriven clean, because that's just how I like my cleans. I don't like super clean cleans. If you don't like it, meh. But yeah, this is the middle position. It's a lovely middle position. Lovely, lovely middle position. And the neck is beautiful too, actually. It's a lovely sounding guitar. I mean, it does have a sound to it. It weighs a ton. The neck is massive. Tuning stability is yeah, but it does have a sound that's pretty cool. Now let's go to the dirty channel. It's a lovely amp too. I mean, the amp is awesome. But bridge pickup, dirty channel, which is sort of like a retro tube, is Marshall-esque, right? So. Now this is the fret that doesn't work. Oh, it kind of works today. It's a bit yeah, but yeah, anyway. It's a C. C sharp works. It works now. Anyway. It's already out of tune. That's tuning stability. How do you, okay, if people are Gibson people out there, how do you keep the G in tune? It's the famous G string. It just does not stay in tune. I've stretched the bejeebus out of it. Does not stay in tune. But when it is in tune, it sounds great. It really reminds me, this actually with that amp, it always reminds me of this sort of... reminds me of that. I don't know. That's sort of a sound that, as soon as I played it, it kind of reminded me of that. Let's hope I won't get copyright strikes because of that. Neck pickup. In a middle position with drive. Does anyone use a middle position with drive? Because more gain is always more better. That's it. That's my most expensive guitar I've ever bought. So, what I want to know from you guys out there, any Gibson stories? Do you have Gibsons? Do you love your Gibsons? Have you had Gibsons? Do you hate Gibson? Now, I gotta say, I do have a love-hate relationship with this. So, I think I mentioned it before. I think it does, I do get to a certain degree why people like these. They have a certain sound to it. They have a certain vibe to them. I've actually really enjoyed playing it. Tuning stability is a bit of a yeah for me. And it's the G. Everyone talks about the G. It is the G. Setup took forever to get right, but it's right, and hopefully it stays that way. We'll see if the neck moves a lot and stuff like that. I don't know if it does it or not, because I haven't had this for a long time. But I do get it. I do still think they are a bit overpriced in my opinion, but let me know what your thoughts are. But yeah, I do kind of get it. I would, and also in all honesty, I would never ever buy this if I didn't sell 4 guitars and a few pedals and had enough money at a music shop without actually having to exchange money. So I didn't have to give them any extra money. I had enough money sitting there from selling all these guitars. They all sold fairly quickly. I had enough money sitting at that shop to get this, but to fork out the cash for something like this is, I don't know if I would do that. It's a lot of money. And is it that much better? I don't know. But I have one of these now. It's cool. I do like it. Yeah. Let me know about your Gibson stories. Let me know about your thoughts on this. Let me know if there's any questions you have with this, if there's anything in particular you want to see with this. Also, like I said, there will be a shootout between this one and Alex's Les Paul. It's sort of bird's eye top. It's a lot prettier, his. But I kind of like the plain thing. I'm into the plain thing. That's one of the reasons I was drawn to it. I like the sort of plain maple. There's one sort of flamey bit here. Just there. Yeah, but I was kind of drawn to the plain looks. I prefer a plainer look guitars. I'm not into the whole quilt and all that sort of stuff. But let me know what your thoughts are. Yeah, and if you've made it this far into the video, please make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, all that sort of stuff, because it does really help out. Now, this was in no way, shape or form or anything sponsored by Gibson or Engel for that matter, because I bought that amp, I bought this guitar. I didn't buy the amp switcher and I didn't buy the Torpedo Live. So even though I bought this, you know, it's still technically a sponsored video because you see other sponsored things here. But anyway, that's a long discussion and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching this video and see you in the next one. Bye.